If you get stuck, okay, let's talk about you got stuck. You're in a producer's block and you need to get out. So first thing you do, as I said, is jam. Just sit down, put your hands on the keyboard, put your favorite sound, and just play. Just play for fun. Don't try to invent the best melody ever. There is no best melody ever. We all have the same notes on the scale, so nothing special is going to happen. There's no magic there. Okay, if it doesn't work, just go outside, go for a walk. But I don't want you to go out for a walk and just, struggle and just be like, oh, I can't do any melodies. I hope this walk will help me. No. And listen. Listen to the sounds, to the outside noise. Because in that noise, you might be able to hear a melody. I know it sounds silly, but it's true. Because the noise, you know what noise is. It basically is a sound of everything. Yeah, it has all the frequencies of the spectrum is in the noise. One thing that really works for me is if I really get stuck and I need to come up with some nice melodies, or even if I don't and I'm just, in the shower and the shower is dripping and that creates that noise, and try to play a track, like any track. It can be trance, it can be EDM, whatever. Put it in the next room. So you barely hear it, but you hear it. But then you hear it through the shower noise. And trust me, the melodies will just start pop in your head automatically. Because your brain, what brain does, is looking for those patterns. And you hear the noise. So the noise is covering those patterns. So it starts to make up what it hears from the other room. And it creates something new. And that new thing might be your next big melody. Now, remember my track Beyond Time. You know how I made Beyond Time? I was on a plane from US to Europe. And there was this huge noise, of the engines. And I heard some music playing from the guy who was sitting next to me on his headphones. And my brain created the melody for Beyond Time. I just heard it in my head, so I recorded it on my phone, and then I used it in the track. So it really does happen. Your brain basically puts those pieces together through the noise. Very helpful. Like, you will not see this in any YouTube video, and it works. Trust me, try it. And then just come back to me and tell me if it worked. Then, as I told you, the chords are not copyrightable. So whatever chords you want to use from any song that was ever made in the past, you can use them. You can even use them in the same order. Or you can reorder them. Okay? So, and that can inspire you to make great tracks. I don't know if you remember my track Venice Beach. Again, I was in a producer's block. I didn't know what to do, and I needed that melody. So I listened to Ali and Fila, and I suddenly heard a melody for my track in their track, which was like different key. It's a completely different melody, but it inspired me. Those chords that they had there inspired me to make a new melody. The other thing, how to get over it, just listen to music, any kind of music. It doesn't have to be trance. Because if you suddenly shock your brain with something different than it's used to, it actually opens up your creativity knobs. They start to move around. So if you're struggling with making a nice trance melody, or even get out of that block, listen to some drum and bass, and suddenly, it refreshes your head. I know it sounds weird, but if you have a other style of music that you like, just listen to it for a while. It will really help. In past year, during that COVID-19 thing, I was really struggling with my own identity as a music producer, and I was really unhappy about still doing uplifting trance, and I just wanted to stop because I just couldn't get any more ideas. Because let's face it, I've been doing uplifting trance for a very long time, and I made many tracks. So I started to dabble in melodic techno and other styles of music, and guess what? It refreshed my mind so much, and now I found new ideas to make new uplifting tracks that don't sound like the ones that I did before. So it's also very helpful. Also, you can change the scale, entirely. If you've like making melody in A minor and you hate it, and you're like, this melody sucks, just try F Lydian or C major, change the scale. You would not believe how suddenly you will feel better about the melody that you're making. This happened to me just the other day. I was having a session with Jordan Tobias, who is also my student, a great producer, and his melody was in A minor, and it just was boring, like a melody that you heard before 1,000 times. So I told him, okay, you know what, stop this, and just try to do a major melody instead. And guess what? This track is amazing. It's already sent to a label, and he did it in a day, just by changing the scale. Sometimes when you have a block and nothing of this is working, you can still try to push through. You can really like force yourself and try to make something nice. In the end, trust me, you will. You will think that you did, but the result will be like, okay, it will never be amazing. So it's better to take a break, and even for a day or for a couple hours when you're struggling, and you come back to it later, and trust me, it will be a big result. Because it's like with everything. Today you might feel really happy because you attended Reorder's Melodies Masterclass and you're like, dude, I'm gonna be the best producer in the world. But tomorrow you might feel depressed because you have to pay your rent, So you will not be in the mood to make amazing music. So it's also about that thing, you take a break, next day you wake up, you will be having different thoughts, and you might make some amazing melodies, or not even melodies, maybe amazing anything. Don't lose touch with music. Make some music on daily basis, even if it's like on a phone and you have like a little piano, so you don't lose touch. So your brain is still hardwired on music. It is like bicycle, but even if you don't ride a bicycle for 5 years, you need a couple minutes, to get back on that horse. If I go for holiday, I don't want to produce music for like 2 weeks. I'm like, not today. Not today. Eventually I have to force myself to start working in it, because for me it's a living, right? Yeah, sometimes it takes a while to write a great melody, guys, okay? But it's gonna happen, okay? Yeah, you know how it is. Like, life gets in the way, you're stressed, you're irritated, you're busy, but eventually, it's gonna happen. From all the tracks I released, let's say I released all together in my whole life, like maybe 10 tracks that I would be very proud of after I die, but they came up from thousands and thousands of melodies. And every musician struggles with it. We don't write amazing melodies every day. Don't get discouraged if your melody sucks today, because the melody you make tomorrow might be a big hit. Like, look at Liam Melly. He recently released this new vocal track, which ended up being #1 on Beatport. It doesn't sound amazing. It doesn't have the perfect mix or master, but the melody he hit the right notes, and suddenly Liam Melly is like a superstar in trance music. Just because he hit those right notes. This can be one of a kind thing that happens once. It can happen many times. Some of us are more gifted, some of us more lucky with pushing the right keys or knowing the right people. Sometimes what helps is to look for inspiration somewhere else than what you normally do. So maybe try to go to a concert of a different genre of music, like rock or pop, whatever you like, or just listen to Spotify while driving, or when you're relaxing, or when you're doing something with your significant other. Usually helps a lot. You can use these special plugins like Scalar or Captain Chords. I like the Captain Chords more, to be honest. But this is how it looks like. It's like a very simple plugin, and it costs only, I think, 72 euros or something like that. So here we go. You choose your chord. Let's say we can try, G sharp, and we go for harmonic minor. And over here, it basically makes the chords for you. It almost sounds like Prodigy, right? So let's start with this one. A flat or G sharp. This will be the first one. Click add. I can choose whichever I like, and it does it for you. like this. And let's play it now. And now the note that says there A flat, D flat, F flat, and E flat, these are the bass notes. You can highlight this whole thing and just, you know, give it more notes. And also it gives you like the bottom note to it. And then you can just take the MIDI out, boom, and use it with any instrument you want, and you have like your basic chords. See, and you already can create something nice that can inspire you, you know, to make great melodies. So I used this a couple times. I'm not a big fan of it, but I can honestly tell you that it expanded my horizons, because this thing actually helped me to understand what does that sus2 and sus4 means and what it is. So this is how, like, all the tips I can give you on how to overcome the producer's block and how to make those melodies like fast and easy and perfect. Hopefully it will help you in the future with your melodies.